Hello and welcome to another update video about Ethereum. Ethereum, well, when you wake up and Ethereum has literally just moved $2, you're thinking about what do I talk about in this video. But we want to take a look at the longer time frame chart as well. A few people, people who are especially new on the channel, they always ask. And let's look at the longer time frame outlook and what actually the higher level perspective for Ethereum is. Looking here at this chart, let's take a look at the beginning basically. So my view is, zoomed out, that Ethereum created its first 1-2 setup here in 2018 and that we're now in this wave 3. But in the wave 3 you've got your 5 waves, and this here was the first one, which peaked at around 4,600 roughly back in May 21. And we are now, or we came down to $880 in June 22 in a wave 2, which formed as an A, B, C pattern. So we had an overshooting wave B here. We peaked basically in November 21 in an overshooting wave B, which means based on the Elliott Wave method, or at least my interpretation here of the chart, based on my interpretation of the chart, this here was an overshooting wave B in November 21. So it was a corrective move. And actually here you can see the 3-wave structure of it. You could argue whatever that was down here, that was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But it just matches much better the entire chart if this was an overshooting wave B. And to be fair, it wouldn't make a great difference if I counted this somehow as, and I would have to change the entire chart for that, but if we counted this here as possibly you could say, okay, we had possibly down here another 1-2 setup, 1-2, then this was a wave 3, even though it would be massively long. Then this was a wave 4, which came down actually for my opinion, it came down too much. Then this here would be a wave 5, which means this here was the wave 1, which means what we're doing now is it wouldn't change a lot, because then you could count this move down as a wave A, this as a wave B, and this as a wave C. It might lead to a little bit lower prices, but in the end it doesn't make a great difference, because it was important on the way down what this was, but now if we're recovering it's not really relevant anymore. And what you need to understand, I very much prefer, if as an analyst, as an Elliott Wave analyst, there are 3, 4, 5, 6 different interpretations of this move to the downside that I could put on the chart here, it wouldn't make a great difference. What was important and what is important is the key levels. And the key levels for Ethereum, they were down here, highlighted between these lines, between 650 and what is it, $1,400 roughly, and we've come into this area. So in terms of trading, it is very important just to use those levels. And if it's a 1-2 here or AB or whatever, it doesn't make a great difference if it's already happened. Important is to understand the key levels, and if they are similar, if you have different counts possible but the targets are different, are similar, then it doesn't make a great difference. So anyway, my view is that Ethereum has probably bottomed out here at $880 back in June, and we're already on the way up, but we take a look at that in a minute. Well, based on this, it means that if this was a wave 1 and this was a wave 2, then we're looking in the next all-time high scenario, in the next bull run, we're looking ideally at a wave 3. The wave 3 would take us to at least $8,260, possibly to $10,000. We're talking here about the next all-time high. Okay, could even go higher. The trend is your friend until the end, but this is sort of the most realistic area. So that's decent. Should we drop a little bit more, we might actually have a look at be able to achieve a 10x here for Ethereum. When that will happen is basically impossible to say. The Elliott Waves will not be able to, or actually no technical analysis will be able to give you an idea when something is going to happen. We can make some assumptions of it, but all attempts, I haven't seen any person who's been able to do that in a reliable way. And And if people have been able to do it, it was more luck because then it didn't work the other time and whatever. So I'm not even trying to give you an idea here when that's going to happen. It would just be a guess. And if I can give you a guess, and that's just a rough idea, I think it will. It can take a year, it can take a couple of years, right? We're definitely not going to get there end of the year. I mean, never say never, but I mean, there could be a year-end rally, but I don't think it will take us that high. But it all depends on when, to be honest, when we are going to see a recovery in several other markets as well. You know, they are sort of, when the general sentiment of the people is shifting, then we will start to see this rally to the upside. And overall, then if we look at, okay, this would be a wave 3, maybe here to $10,000, then there will be a wave 4 down, which should be a shallow retracement, and a wave 5 up. Textbook target for the wave 5 would be the 2.618 extension at around $13,000. So let's zoom in. Let's zoom in to the 1 hour chart. Not much else has happened since my last video, so I can really there's only limited space for an update. Basically exactly the same price, 13.10 now, when we talked in the previous video, but we said, you know, we talked about this support line here, which the price came back to. It broke out of this channel we identified, but we haven't really seen any upside, so that's actually not a bullish signal. I mean, all these attempts to break to the upside were rejected. That's actually not a bullish signal, which means there is a good chance for another dip down, which I'm still looking at here, still planning for, still ideally hoping for, because I'd like to add another position to my portfolio here before we go up. And I think the first indication that we are coming down would be a break below that wave D low. If this really is a triangle in gray here, that is one possible count, A, B, C, D, and now we should see a wave E to the upside. Now that can be quite short, that wave E. I mean, if I count it like that and we say, all right, the wave D might already be done, then I can even calculate a target for a wave E, and for that we take the length of the wave C and we project it out, and a target would be, okay, that's getting close. A target would be the 1370 level, the 61.8% extension. On the other hand, the wave E must not get above that level, otherwise it will invalidate the wave C here. So the wave E must stay below the wave C. So we'll see if that is actually a triangle. It doesn't need to be one. It's just one possible interpretation of the chart. You can also say that we had here an A, B, C. We're now in the C wave down, a 5-wave move. But for that, I would like to see more of an impulsive move down. It would be a wave 3. The other interpretation is that we've done an A here, a B here, and we're now coming down in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern. But even here, for me, it's not. We need to see more of the impulsiveness to the downside. At the moment, this is not. It's only a 3-wave move, which would actually confirm the triangle thesis here. But all of them point to the downside. As I said before, only if we go above 1400 we can consider, or I would personally consider, a more bullish interpretation of it, which means we go up straight away without making one more dip. But generally my assumption is we make one more dip here in this downward move, make one more dip to finish off this wave 2 that we talked about, the wave 2, yeah, that we formed after we bottomed out here in June. Then we created a 1-2 setup here on the lower time frame, and this wave 2 is nearly done in my opinion, and it in my opinion it should bottom out somewhere here, and then we should see the rally in a wave 3. That's my view. As long as we're holding the $1,000 level below that, we'll see an invalidation of that 1-2 setup, or at least it will get very, very unlikely. I think we've got good chances for this to happen, because a lot of people expect Ethereum to go lower, make even lower prices, yeah, maybe all the way down to $800, $600. Now we know what happened with the Ethereum merge. Yeah, a lot of people expected it to go to the moon from here. Now we knew that a downside move was going to happen. We talked about the ABC setup here. We talked about the 1-2 setup. We talked about this target area for a wave B. This was exactly when the Ethereum merge happened here, around that time. And basically, you could say, as expected, we came down eventually after the Ethereum merger. We did not see that massive bullish move that a lot of people expected. So whenever a lot of people do expect something, you often see it happen the other way around. So this move down, in my opinion, has a good chance to reverse to the upside after one more dip. That would be great. I won't rule out the option to go up straight away, but ideally the pattern would look better with one more dip and then going up. And yeah, that is where we are here at the moment on the Ethereum chart. So hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.